There are miracles that shine like the sun, dramatic, undeniable, seen by many. And then there are miracles that bloom in silence, in hearts torn by pain, in souls learning to forgive when it feels impossible. This is the story of Elena, a woman who discovered that forgiveness, true forgiveness, can open the door to a miracle far greater than healing the body. It can heal the soul. Elena had lost almost everything in a single night. A drunk driver had run a red light and crashed into her husband's car. He didn't survive. For months, Elena lived in darkness. Her prayers were dry, her tears constant. She went to church, but she couldn't bring herself to look at the crucifix. How could God allow this? She whispered each night, her voice breaking under the weight of anger and grief. Every time she heard the name of the man responsible, Daniel, her heart hardened. She wanted him punished. She wanted him to suffer the way she did. But one day, as she sat at Mass, the priest read from the Gospel, "Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you." The words hit her like lightning. She felt her chest tighten, her breathing shallow. "No," she thought, "I can't do that. I won't do that." Still, something began to stir. That night, she opened her husband's old Bible. Inside, she found a small note he had written years before. Forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it opens the future. She sat for a long time staring at those words, and for the first time she wept, not in anger, but in longing. Weeks passed. One morning, Eleanor felt a strange urge to visit the prison where Daniel was held. Her heart pounded as she walked down the narrow corridor. When he appeared, thin, trembling, eyes full of shame, she almost turned away. But something deeper held her there. She took a slow breath and said quietly, "I came here to tell you that I forgive you." Daniel's face crumpled. Tears streamed down his cheeks as he whispered, "I don't deserve that." Elena's own tears fell. "I didn't forgive because you deserve it," she said softly. "I forgive because God forgave me first." It was in that moment that something broke, not in pain, but in freedom. A chain that had bound her heart for so long finally fell away. And in that silence, Eleanor felt it. A warmth that filled her soul. Peace. Real peace. When she walked out of the prison that day, the sun seemed brighter, the air lighter. It wasn't the kind of miracle people wrote about in newspapers. No blinding light, no divine voice from heaven. But something inside her, something that had been dead, had come alive again. The world often measures miracles by what we see. The blind who regain sight, the sick who rise from their beds. But the greatest miracles are not always visible. Sometimes they happen deep within, when a heart turns from hatred to mercy, from resentment to peace. Forgiveness doesn't erase pain. It doesn't pretend injustice didn't happen, but it allows God to enter the wound, to transform it into a channel of grace. Elena's story mirrors the heart of the gospel itself. On the cross, Jesus didn't just forgive his executioners, he prayed for them. "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." That prayer changed history, and today it still changes hearts. When Elena forgave Daniel, she participated in that same divine mercy, the mercy that renews the face of the earth, one soul at a time. My friend, maybe you too carry a wound that refuses to heal. A betrayal. A word that cut too deep. A memory that still burns. And maybe, like Eleanor, you've told yourself, "I can't forgive. It's too much. But what if, just what if, the miracle God wants to give you is hidden right behind that act of forgiveness? What if the peace you've been praying for is waiting on the other side of letting go? Forgiveness is not forgetting. It's remembering through the eyes of mercy. It's choosing love when hatred seems easier. It's saying, I release this into God's hands. When we forgive, we become most like Christ. And in that moment, miracles happen, not just in the world around us, but in the deepest places of our hearts. So tonight, take a quiet moment, whisper the name of the one who hurt you, and tell Jesus, I want to forgive. You may not feel ready, you may not know how, but that prayer, that single act of willingness, opens the door for grace to enter. And when grace enters, everything changes.